Welcome to Neurodivergent Life. I'm Michael. And no, the video didn't glitch. I did. And I have to wonder, after listening and hearing a lot of different things, I have to wonder if I'm autistic, if I'm somewhere on the spectrum. I know a lot of autistic people don't like that term, but I haven't really gotten a better term. So it's a question of, am I autistic or not? Um, is there a scale, all that? I'm still new at that, so your comments are welcome. See, I just thought I had ADHD, which, that'd be fine. I was okay with that. Getting diagnosed with ADHD did not come as a surprise to me. Not really. Both my sons were diagnosed when they were children, and not knowing much about it at the time, I thought it was something that happened, based on how you were raised or any number of misunderstood reasons. I didn't know then what I know now. And, that saying goes, if I knew then what I know now, but it wasn't until my late 40s, which really wasn't that long ago, just a few years, when things in my life were falling apart. Uh, Namely, me, the circumstances in my life, and I won't go into details on that, but they pushed me over the edge. And talking with my psychiatrist at the time, they asked if I had been diagnosed with ADHD. At least the nurse practitioner did. Being open to understanding myself better, I've always wanted to know more about why I am the way I am. I agreed to take the test, which turned out to be a real eye opener, or head opener, if you will. I'm not just ADHD, I'm severely ADHD. Uh, Such as, like, on a scale of 0 to 3, I'm a 6 kind of thing. Yeah. Autism, on the other hand, never crossed my mind. My ex-wife's niece is autistic. And I've known a couple of autistic people, and I've never really saw those traits in me. So, like, how can I be autistic? Blah, blah, blah. Same questions with how can I be ADHD if I don't fit any of these things. So, it never really crossed my mind. And uh, I never really thought about getting checked. And then I started watching videos and listening to people talk about their autism, uh, whether in articles on LinkedIn or on videos on YouTube or anywhere where they wanted to share their own personal stories. And it kind of brought to attention my own issues. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought that was an ADHD thing. And so I started looking it up, and there's a lot of crossover between ADHD and autism. And a lot of people with ADHD are also diagnosed with autism. Like most of them, I think, go by odd ADHD. That's AUDHD, not ODD. Although we are a little bit odd, and most of us, I think, at least I do, wear that proudly. I am proud to be odd. So anyway, uh, you know, I always thought, I always imagined autistics being the ones in the corner screaming if they got touched. The kind you can't really take out in the public. And yeah, I know how that sounds, and I'm ignorant on that. I didn't know anything. Shame me if you must. Some people, they feel better when they shame people for not knowing things. And I honestly had very limited exposure to autism and never really had much interest in knowing more about that. Of course, my interests kind of run the gamut of everything, so I might have had an interest in it back when I information wasn't readily available, so I don't know. Anywho, it didn't take long before I noticed many of the things that are being talked about are my own experiences. Uh, then I kept thinking there had to be another explanation. And that goes back into the overlap of, how do you differentiate one thing from another? Is it autism? Is it ADHD? Is it both? And not knowing a whole lot, uh, I don't really know where to categorize myself right now. I don't have a psychiatrist. Well, I do and I don't, if that makes any sense. I've got one coming up, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, and I think that, every time you go to see a new psychiatrist, you um, kind of afraid that, okay, well, your previous diagnoses were wrong and you don't have any of those things. You're perfectly normal. Uh, and that's a big fear because if I'm perfectly normal, then I'm really screwed up because I can't function the way normal people do. And, the PNES and everything else kind of messed me up. And it's not because I don't want to hold on to being diagnosed with ADHD just because it puts me in a category. Uh, it's more because it explains a lot about my past and my present, my possible future. And if I can get properly treated, I think my future will be a lot brighter. Because right now I can't really keep track. And if I'm not ADHD, if I'm not autistic, if I'm not autistic, I'm not autistic. If I'm just ADHD, just on a severe scale, then so be it. That's what I am. Um, and I'm fine with that as long as I can get treatment. So I decided to do a little bit of research on this, and Dr. Neff, Neff, has information regarding that overlap between the two on her website, Neurodivergent Insights. So be sure to look that up. Um, and it got me to thinking, what if I am autistic? And there's too many videos of people explaining their artistic traits and me seeing myself in those videos. Not literally, just to clarify. Uh, but I have managed to justify that behavior all my life in one way or another. Uh, I've been masking for so long, I got used to it. And I do that because of, whatever reason. And my reasons were always believable, you know. And when I stopped and think about the basis of my explanation, there wasn't any foundation. The causes never happened to the best of my recollection. I just made it up to justify my own awkwardness. So, like any self diagnosing whack job, I decided to take an online test. Woohoo! Online tests, aren't they wonderful? You can take those on just about anything. Uh, so, not really having a psychiatrist at the moment. I took the free test at Psych Central. I believe that's psychcentral.com. And my results, let me double check here. Was it Psych Central? Yeah, psychcentral.com. Okay. So my results came up, my total score 26 out of 40. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. So it says that scoring in this range means that it may be a good idea to monitor my symptoms and keep track of the severity of the behaviors and when they're present. Yeah, I have severe ADHD. I'm going to keep track of my symptoms and when they happen. Are you kidding me? I can't even keep track of when I'm supposed to take the meds that I'm on or when I'm supposed to turn in a paper or a project or anything. So yeah, good luck on me keeping track of stuff. So if you're concerned and want more information, consider scheduling an evaluation with a qualified healthcare or mental health professional for further assessment and potential treatment options. Uh, essentially, get professional advice. This is just a kind of run of the mill test that you might be keep track of it and talk to a professional. Well, I can't keep track of anything, so I mean I'll intend to write something down and then completely forget about it, or forget where I wrote it down at or which app I put it in. So anyway, you know, you don't want to put too much stock in any of the free online quizzes, or any of them for that matter. They're not meant to diagnose. You got to talk to a professional about that. It's kind of like those free IQ tests. No, they don't really tell you if you have an IQ of 200 if you can solve this simplistic or complicated math problem. Not true. Uh, so I kind of wonder, what if there is more to it? Uh, what if I do have autism? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another thing I'll have to study and get immersed in. Taking another quiz, a UK based quiz, I took, and based on your results, there's a strong probability that you are autistic. Well, as Jim Carrey might say, well, alrighty then. I don't know how I feel about it other than fear. Not the fear of being autistic, but the fear of being called a liar or someone trying to be special. If I'm ADHD, that would seriously explain a lot, I'm telling you. And if I can get the help, I might make a huge difference in my life. I'm sure it will. And so hopefully that my upcoming appointment with the psychiatrist will reveal something, and it may just be the beginning of a long and arduous process, which, I'm pretty sure that is. So I'll keep you posted, and I'll keep myself in tuned, and be sure to check out neurodivergentlife.substack.com, where you'll find my articles written and some other videos, as well as some of my fiction regarding Equality World. And I have a separate podcast for that, from Nobody. It's on the air with Nobody. So be sure to check that out, and we'll see you next time. All right.